Wow, this is the closest I've actually been to a snake, so. Is he still feeling me? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, that's fine. The tongue flick is just smells. The only time that a snake is ever really gonna bite you is if, for the most part, I'm generalizing, but is if it's a food error, if you smell like the food, if you step on it, if you harm it in another way. Like when he was little, he used to move around so much, but now he's like so chill. But they do this, like when he was little, he would just like slip through my fingers and it was like very therapeutic, but I don't really identify with which one.
Gotcha.
But like, so my firstborn, my first snake is Cain. I realized how cool they are, and then they come in all different shapes and colors and sizes. It's a little addicting, and then you get a little bit more. But I really like them because they're very calming to me.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily need love back the way a dog needs love back. And you gain, their love is through trust.
Ready for the video?
Yes.
Let's get it. Awesome. Present practice. What is vibing? This is Vish and
Nicole.
And today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
Sadhguru's King Cobra encounter.
Do you ever find yourself stressed, anxious, or nervous? Well, that used to be me all the time, and then I found meditation. And now I've got hundreds of people on their meditation journeys, and I'll be soon coming out with a meditation product, so stay tuned for that. And today, I'm here with Nicole. Want to introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Nicole. I'm just an average everyday life human being, but I happen to have an affinity to snakes and plants.
Cool, I'm going to introduce your snake right there. You can lift him up a bit.
Sure, this is Luther. He is about 2.5. He's about to shed, so his colors aren't as bright and vivid as he normally is. And he's a Mexican black king snake.
Wow. And what makes him a king snake? What does that mean?
It's just a genre or a species. I don't know what the right word is. Like there's Burmese pythons, there's king snakes, there's corn snakes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're royal, but that's the personal thing. But that's just, yeah. So I have 3 other king snakes, but they're from different regions of the United States.
Sweet. And do you want to tell the viewers about your experience with Sadhguru himself and what you've learned from him, or just the journey in general?
Yeah, I was introduced to him by a life coach maybe 5 years ago or so. He would give me like videos to watch or just things to read about his things that he said. And it just took me a while for me because I was pretty lost, however you want to describe that. And it was a slow introduction, but more and more I would find myself watching these videos when I was like stressed and then I would like be out in public and I'd be like, man, you know what I would rather be doing right now? Like sitting at home watching these videos. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you sharing how much he's helped you, it seems like, in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Sadhguru is a yogi, mystic, and visionary who is truly helping to lighten the world. And with that,
let's get into the video.
Awesome. Cool.
I've loved and enjoyed Western Ghats like very few people would have seen it, because I've not only ridden on the motorcycle, I've trekked extensively in Western Ghats. Especially riding-wise, that Sirsi, that the Jogs, Hornad, that now all this, Kudremukh has become a mine and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But otherwise at that time, it was one of the most exciting places to ride. Fantastic terrain, fantastic.
Did you encounter any king cobras while you were trekking?
I have, but that time it was my dream to catch one king cobra, because in Mysore region we didn't have king cobras.
Exactly.
So many times I trekked in that Sirsi, Shivamogga, that area. Sometimes I sighted them, but I never got to catch them. Once I was lying on a wedge of a rock which was like this, just about 2 feet wide. I'm lying here in the afternoon and I see a snake is passing by me, this thick, about maybe 14-15 feet. It's just brushing my arm and going. My right arm is here, I'm not so good with my left arm. I don't want to try a king cobra with my left arm. I'm just saying my dream is just passing by. Not able to get it. After it passed, I got up, but then he moved
Yes, such
quickly.
a fascinating. And also, we heard about your in Kaveri 13 days you spent in the water with just few tubes.
Above the water, not in the water.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure, we have had a best time in our childhood swimming in the rivers and, as you said, in the wells.
Very different from swimming in a pool.
Yeah.
And I personally believe that, in a way it has built a character inside us. We can't explain what is it, but…
See, your connect with the nature, what it does to you, you can never really articulate what it is, but without it, you're nothing.
So it becomes very important for us also to, to save the, Kaveri for the next generation, because they can't lose that, this is one of the reasons, but they can't lose that childhood memories what we have gathered.
Yes. Even if the river is flowing full, forest is in full force, they'll be only doing this, They will see it on the screen. They think you're stupid that you climbed a mountain to see it, they'll see it on the screen. Okay? This is the unfortunate reality in the world. When I went and sat in the jungles, I clearly knew that there is something here which is far bigger life than myself, far bigger, magnificent life, simply buzzing all the time. If you say this, people will say, oh, was it the insects? Oh, was the tiger roaring? Was the elephant trumpeting? What is it? No, life is just roaring. That is what a jungle is, that's what a forest is.
Nicole, what'd you think of that video?
It's great, like most of his videos, 98% of his videos. I do like the last comment about nature is roaring, because like all of those, I don't know that much, but everything is very symbiotic. Like in order for this plant to talk to this one, there needs to be a certain fungi. Like there's a whole communication that happens in a forest. And also like we just go there and we're so like caught up on our own mental bull that we skip all of those things, and then we ignore like the magnitude of all of the creation.
Absolutely.
When it's like actually very loud, but in a good way.
Yeah. No, it's very important, like you mentioned. And you were even saying too, there's so much beauty and aliveness with life around us.
Right.
And again, technology itself isn't necessarily bad or good, but it's the compulsive, unconscious addiction that we have
and
towards
I'm addicted, so I'm not going to say I'm cool enough to not be.
And I appreciate your honesty and transparency. Because even for me, even though I am on the spiritual path, I tend to scroll a lot of the times on social media. Yeah. And I think the important thing is, as Nicole and I just did, to acknowledge that first, to be open about it and be aware about it, right? And but yeah, going off of that, it's interesting, as you said, as a joke, but I think it's very true how a lot of kids, especially the younger generations, would rather be on their phone and see a picture or a video versus being in real life.
But then when you're in the jungle, like I lived in Maui for a few months in the jungle with
Where's
no
that,
cell phone. Maui,
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Got you.
And my cell phone didn't work most of the time. You have this period of withdrawal. Like, what if I miss this call? And it's like this frantic 3-4 hour thing, and then after a while you're like, oh, what phone? Like you just it's really cool, that transition. And it wasn't cool at the time, but it really is. Nature is humbling for sure. And
there was something you said earlier which I didn't quite catch, which you were like, that's it. Do you remember what that was about specifically?
Nope. Just I've had experiences where he's talking about it in nature. You can't quite put a pin on it, but life is happening all around you. We can't survive without nature. We all think we're like this individual being, very egocentric creatures humans are, but without airs, without tree, all of those things, we would not exist. This is flesh, we cannot exist without plants and water and all those things.
Absolutely. And as I've realized and learned, we don't have a life, but we are a part of life.
Right. Yes. Right. We're part of the whole thing.
Yes. We don't have that individual. It seems,
which is both frightening and also incredibly relieving at the same time.
Yeah. It's all about perception, right? How you perceive and take that. And I'm curious with regards to, I mean, it seems like you have a huge interest towards snakes.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel like that's helped you with this coming into touch with the reality of life as he was talking about?
I've tried to make it, after experiencing snakes, I've like tried to branch out. People who like snakes, there's like, it branches out into like liking lizards and all of these other things, and then you add all of these like creepy crawly things to your spectrum. So now I have a tarantula, and before I used to be terrified of them. But just being in the presence of this animal, first of all, I made it a mission to like love the things that I hated before. But once you're in their presence and like there's no distractions of the mind, like this is scary, this is gonna bite me, this feels weird, like then you feel it for what it is, and it's awesome. Then you feel like the energy of just this animal that creation created as along with us.
That's beautiful. And it's kind of like what you're saying, which is like you're transcending your thoughts as well as your fears. I mean,
right.
As I've learned,
and then you're like, they're not that scary. It just is. It just is.
Exactly.
A snake.
It's just a beingness.
Right.
Beautiful. And I don't like to make a lot of references, but I've learned so much from Sadhguru himself as well as Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
And he says it very simply, which is, it's not the situation that upsets you or puts you into fear, but it's your thoughts around it.
Right.
And so if you're able to perceive it without that external, let's just say, fog of thoughts,
Sure.
then you're just present. And it's as simple as that. And I've heard snakes are very present creatures. You want to talk about that too?
I could probably write books about that, but I think people miss out on the magnificence of the animal because they're caught up in perpetual stories. Like my nephew is 3 and he has books that they're like, snakes are scary. So from the get-go, they're like being imprinted with like, again, like Sadhguru talks about this, that we're like, the mind is just like in imprints of all these different concepts and ideas. So like people don't even give themselves a chance to even like this animal. They have never, like most people haven't even interacted with the snake, but they're basing it off of like movies like Hogwarts, like the animal in it is like, yeah, like the animal in it is a big Burmese python, which I have, and it's the nicest snake that I own. So like, but people don't even give themselves a chance to actually be present with the animal. And this animal, I mean, it's like slithering on the ground. It's close to the earth most of its life. Well, some of them are arboreal, but
What does that mean, arboreal?
Arboreal is like in trees.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I feel a lot more calm every time I handle my snake. They kind of teach me how to just be here and be present. And also not just because of the way they are, but then you also like just learning how to, you have to be still when you're holding them. You don't want to be nervous. And just, when you're dealing with a snake that might be slightly aggressive, you want to hold space for it to like feel trust with you. And that to me helps me be present.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Beautiful information. I think it's all about, shedding light to that stigma that we have.
Right.
And I mean, even when I was younger, used to have a lot more of a fear with them, but it seems like I'm not as afraid now, at least as
afraid, sure.
Would it be cool if I pet him on camera?
Yeah, you can.
Awesome. So, wow.
He's just reaching out to say hi and crawl on you. They really take the time to like learn what they're on, and that's like, I've learned something about snakes is like they take the whole energy of the room in.
Wow. I'll lift them up a little higher just in case it gets in the camera.
Even a rattlesnake will rattle the out of its tail before it actually bites you. It takes energy for them to bite you because that venom that they use is for like killing their prey. It's not like, that is not their intention to bite you. So, I mean, I'm generalizing here, but for the most part,
very tickly.
no, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Wait, you're saying?
I mean, for the most part, there are exceptions to the rules, right? There's some snakes that are just striking, they're just pissy all the time. But for the most part, they're not gonna bite for no reason. They're not humans that hold grudges.
Yeah.
Now, I'm way more scared of being in a car. I'm way more scared. I told Vish earlier, my nephew has bitten me. He's 3 and he's bitten me more times than a snake has ever bitten me. So.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Wow, I was truly very present, to be fully transparent with you, as he was on me, so awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
That wealth of information, and for, remember his name again?
Luther?
For Luther, for being here. And I appreciate you also watching and learning from Sadhguru and Nicole as well. A lot of cool things. And with that, make it a great day. Take it joyfully. If any other video requests, you can also comment that down below. And also don't forget to check out Nicole, who will also be down below in the description. And stay conscious. Awesome job. That was great. Thank you so much for this one. That was
Yeah, you're welcome.
really cool. I was very...
Hey, little boy.